When the date doesn't end, my name is Kayla Morris. I was 23 when I matched with a guy named Brandon on a dating app. I lived in the quiet town of Brooksville, Ohio. Not much happened there, and honestly, I was just looking for someone to talk to, maybe hang out with. We messaged for a few days before we decided to meet. Our first date was super chill. We grabbed coffee at this local place. It was short, less than an hour, but that's how I like first dates. Just enough time to gauge if someone is normal. Brandon seemed decent, a little quiet but polite and funny enough. The second time we met for drinks at a local bar. We both caught a little buzz, and he opened up a bit more. He told some goofy stories, and I laughed. At the time I thought, maybe he's just shy at first. Our third date was dinner. That's when I started noticing things. It wasn't anything major, just small stuff. A few awkward jokes, a little too much eye contact, and something about his laugh made my skin crawl. But I brushed it off. I even let him kiss me at the end of the night, thinking maybe I was being too picky. Then came the fourth date. Drinks again. This time I wasn't excited. Something inside me was hesitant, and I was much more observant. I picked up on things I'd missed before. His weird way of watching people, how his smile didn't reach his eyes, how he didn't laugh so much as bark, and he drank too much. Fast. Within an hour, he was way past tipsy and got really handsy. He tried kissing me repeatedly at the bar, even with people around. I gently pulled back each time, saying I wasn't into PDA. He didn't take the hint. Eventually, I said I was tired and needed to head home. He paid, we grabbed our coats, and as we walked to the cars, he stopped me. "You want to come back to my place?" he asked. It was so blunt, like no build-up at all. I said, "Not tonight, I have work in the morning." That was a lie, but I didn't feel safe enough to just say no. He didn't let it go. He offered to drive me to work, told me he'd make me breakfast, just weird pushy stuff. It felt wrong. I politely shut him down again and got into my car. I parked across the street from the bar and I drove off slowly. I'd had 2 drinks and didn't want to risk anything. A few blocks down, I noticed the same car was still behind me after a few turns. I checked my mirror again. It looked like Brandon's car. I texted him. "Are you following me?" He replied fast. "Yeah, just want to make sure you get home safe." I called him. He didn't pick up. Creeped out, I pulled over and texted again. "Please stop. I'm fine." His car paused a few seconds, then passed me. He didn't say anything else until I was home in bed. That's when he texted again. "Sorry if I came on too strong tonight. Maybe next time we just chill at my place or something." I ignored it. The next morning he followed up with, "Is the vibe dead?" Still no response from me. 2 hours later, just a question mark. I gave in and texted, "Hey, I've enjoyed getting to know you, but I don't think we're really a good match. I need to focus on myself right now. Hope you understand." That's when things turned nasty. He texted, "No, I don't understand. You strung me along for 4 dates just to say that. Pay me back for half of everything I bought for you then." Then more texts came in. Some personal stuff I had mentioned to him used against me. That's when I blocked his number. But then came the no-caller ID calls, constant. I ignored all of them. Eventually they stopped. I thought that was the end of it, until I got home one day and found a bouquet of flowers on our front step, with a card that said, "I'm sorry. Please give me one more chance." Signed, Brandon. My stomach dropped. He knew where I lived. That night I texted him from a different number. "Do not ever come to my house again. If you contact me, I will go to the police." I blocked him again. I really thought that was it, until the night I was home alone. My parents had gone away for the weekend. I stayed behind to watch the house. I was in my loft bedroom, the highest room in the house, when I woke up around 2 a.m. to some kind of noise. I didn't know what it was at first, just that it didn't feel right. I lay still, listening. Then I heard it again. A door creaking. "Open upstairs." My heart skipped. No one was supposed to be home. I slipped quietly out of bed and onto the floor. I crawled under the bed and grabbed my phone, texted my parents and siblings. "Is anyone home?" No replies. Then I heard footsteps in the hallway, carpeted ones, barely audible. Then the door to my room opened. Silence. Then, drawers opening. My dresser. I held my breath. My hands were over my mouth. Then I heard a voice, low and angry. God fucking damn it. I froze. It was Brandon's voice. I was sure of it. More rummaging. Then I felt the bed shift as he sat on it. From under the bed skirt, I saw the outline of his shoes. He sat there in silence for what felt like forever, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Then he got up, muttering, "Fucking bitch." He slammed the drawer shut and walked out. I heard him go down the stairs. I stayed hidden and whispered into my phone to 911. 15 minutes later, the first officer showed up. I ran downstairs to meet him. Shortly after, a second cop, this one a woman, joined us. They swept the house. Turns out the dining room window was unlocked. That's how he got in. There was a big bush in front of it. Most people wouldn't think someone would squeeze through it, but he did. I gave a full statement. The next day, my parents and I went to the station with all the texts and proof. Brandon even admitted to following me. They opened an investigation, but since I didn't have hard proof it was him in the house, it didn't go far. I did manage to get a restraining order. Since then, I never heard from him again. But for months, I couldn't sleep without checking every window and door. Even now, years later in a totally different city, I still find myself double-checking locks and glancing behind me when I walk to my car. Because some people don't understand when the date is over, and some people don't leave quietly. My name is Emma Sinclair, and I was 11 years old when this all began, back in the fall of 2015 in the tiny town of Maplewood, Kansas. It was the week of Halloween, and like every year, our school's haunted house carnival was the big event. I stayed after class nearly every afternoon to help hang cobwebs, position spooky props, and test out the strobe lights. Pizza and soda afterward was our reward. My best friends Lily, Jordan, and I would laugh as we put fake spiders on each other's shoulders. There was another kid who hung around with us during those after-school sessions. I'll call him Dylan. He was funny, clever with the decorations, and always joined our goofy pranks. I never felt uneasy around him until a couple weeks after Halloween. One afternoon in November, a group of girls from my grade cornered me in the hallway. Their eyes sparkled and they giggled as though they shared a delicious secret. "Emma," one whispered, "you've got a secret admirer." I tilted my head. "Really? Who?" They wouldn't say, only that I'd get a message that night. My heart fluttered. I was curious. Who could it be? That evening I lay in bed scrolling on my iPad before sleep when a notification popped up on Facebook Messenger. I opened it and saw it was from Dylan, someone I'd friended on Halloween, but forgot about soon after. The message simply read, "Emma, I need to talk to you." Concern thrummed through me. I typed back, "Hey Dylan, everything okay?" The typing indicator blinked for what felt like ages, until a long paragraph appeared. "Emma, I know we've only really hung out at the haunted house, but I can't stop thinking about you. I've liked you since I saw you in art class painting that pumpkin. I tried to impress you with my soccer skills at recess, but you never noticed. I can't take it anymore. I want you to notice me. Will you be my girlfriend?" My stomach lurched. I barely knew him. Trying to be kind, I replied, "I'm really flattered, but I just want to be friends." I thought that would end it. But the next morning, his friends told me his whole friend group knew. He'd been telling everyone he planned to corner me in the hallway and kiss me, whether I wanted it or not. My heart pounded. That sounded like a threat. I ran to my teacher, Mrs. Patterson, who told me to stay inside during recess and lunch and to sprint back to class if Dylan tried to get close. That afternoon, I marched to the principal's office. Mr. Keaton listened, tapping his pen, and promised to talk to Dylan right away. I walked home that day feeling shaky, but relieved that something was being done. I lived directly across from the school, so I didn't have to worry about any hidden routes. Or so I thought. Later that week, I left school to find my mom's car waiting in our driveway. She'd come early from work. I crossed our front lawn, unlocked the door, and stepped inside. 2 minutes later, I heard a knock at the front door. I peeked out the window just in time to see Dylan's lanky silhouette duck behind the car across the street. My pulse raced. My mom opened the door and found a folded piece of paper on the welcome mat, addressed to me. I read it aloud. Emma, there's a surprise for you under the Sinclair family van. My mom looked under the car and found nothing. I tried to shrug it off, but later that day my brother's van broke down, engine wouldn't turn over, and never ran again. He eventually sold it. I still have no idea if Dylan did something to it, but it felt too coincidental. At school, the teasing got worse. Dylan's friends would accost me in the hall. Just give him a chance. He's perfect. Sometimes I'd hear my name whispered. She's so beautiful when she walks home. One afternoon, I walked out to the school's back lot and felt a camera click. I spun around and saw Dylan snapping my photo as I climbed into my own car. I froze. He dropped his phone and ran off. Each morning, my phone buzzed with messages. From him. Can't wait to see you. Bet you look gorgeous today. My stomach churned. I stopped using Facebook for a while, but the messages came via text or Instagram DM. I felt watched, followed everywhere. I went back to Mrs. Patterson. She shrugged me off. Boys will be boys, she said. It's sweet, Emma. Be flattered. Her words felt like salt in a wound. I left thinking perhaps I was overreacting, until that weekend when my parents went shopping and left me home alone. I was in my loft bedroom reading a book, when a soft thunk jolted me upright. I froze, listening. A few seconds later, another thunk, this time at my window. My room was on the second floor. Nothing but birds hit that glass. My heart thundered. I crept to the window, eased the curtain aside, and peered down. There, framed by the porch light, was Dylan, handful of small stones in his palm. He looked up, wide-eyed, as though expecting me to speak. I gasped and stumbled back. I locked every window and door, then texted my mom. Someone's outside my window. Please come home now. She raced back, heart racing. I locked my phone again and typed 4 more messages to Dylan from my blocked chat. Stop following me. Do not come to my house ever again. If you do, I will go to the police. Leave me alone. Then I blocked him. For the rest of middle school and all through high school, I'd glimpse him walking past campus. Same lanky frame, same haunted eyes. But I never spoke to him again. I heard later that he got arrested for something horrible. They didn't say what. And finally, some part of justice felt served. The scariest part? The counselor who told me to be flattered, never apologized, and stayed on staff for years. I hope she never minimizes a child's fear again. To this day, whenever I unlock my front door at night, I double-check every lock and glance up and down the street, half expecting to see those curly bangs peeking from behind a car. Some people don't know how to let go, and some stories haunt you long after the threats have stopped. My name is Alex Carter, and I was 23 when this nightmare began, in the coastal city of Portland, Maine. I'd grown up shy, always on the edge socially, but by my early 20s I'd carved out a small circle of friends and built a modest life, a steady job in graphic design and a 2-story townhouse in the East End. I thought I'd finally left my awkward adolescence behind. Then I matched with Rachel on a dating app, and everything I'd learned about boundaries and safety unraveled. The honeymoon phase. I met Rachel at a seaside brew pub on Exchange Street. She was 24, studying marine biology, sharp-witted, with a smile that made me feel calm, until the second date, and certainly by the fourth. We shared coffee, drinks, dinner, and a weekend walk around the old port. Each time I wrestled my nerves, worried she was judging my every pause or stutter. But when I got back home late on that first night, her text read, "I had so much fun tonight, can't wait to see you again." My heart leapt. Rachel, seemed different from past flings. Over the next few weeks, we slipped easily into boyfriend-girlfriend talk. I felt proud pulling into my driveway in that townhouse of mine. She lavished me with attention, which I craved, so much that I barely noticed the first time she asked me to share my location. The first read. Flags. A few weeks in, her text shifted from sweet check-ins to relentless pings. Where are you right now? Why didn't you answer my last message? I see you're at Sam's place, should have told me. Sam was a college buddy whose basement I'd crashed in on a Friday. The moment she showed up at his front door, face tight with anger, Prisley, Sam's mom, had to usher her downstairs. Rachel accused me of blowing her off and demanded I leave with her right then. I apologized to Sam and slipped out into the street. That night we argued under the street lamp as cars passed. She threatened what-if scenarios, pulled her phone at me with tear-filled eyes, and insisted I come inside her car. I refused. I drove home slowly, told her over text I needed space, and braced myself for retaliation, escalation, and stalking at. First, she called me nonstop, 10 rings in a row, week after week. Then one Sunday evening I found flowers on my welcome mat with a card. I'm sorry I scared you, I just want one more chance. I'd only given her a taste of no, but she already stalked my apartment. The next Friday, after Sam's game night, I microwaved dinner and settled in for a movie. At the ping of my oven timer, I heard it, a soft click in the dining room. My townhouse was laid out in a circle: kitchen, dining, living, den. The den closed off with a door. That door, always shut, was now swinging open. I muted my TV, crept toward the noise, and saw it yawn wide. My heart exploded as I raced back, grabbed the largest chef's knife in my block, and dialed 911. I told the operator in a loud voice that my ex had broken in, gave my address, and bolted outside to wait under the porch light. Officers arrived within minutes. I guided them through the search, the crawlspace, closets, underbeds, even the mini attic. No one was hiding, until they checked the den. Empty. The door clicked shut. Even the officers exchanged uneasy glances. They told me to call immediately if I heard anything else, a relief tinged with terror. The night of terror, I tried to sleep, upstairs, but something felt wrong. At 2 a.m., my phone buzzed, texts from a number I didn't recognize. I blinked at the screen. Rachel, 8 texts in a row. Wake up. Please talk to me. I'm sorry. I need you. I fired back a single reply. You're scaring me. Leave me alone. Before I could lock my phone, I heard it, the rustle of clothes in my closet. A soft groan of frustration. Then her voice, whispering my name. No. The closet door slammed open. In an instinct I'll never forget, I sprang from my bed, grabbed my robe, and tore down the hallway. The bedroom door, the one I always locked, stood ajar. I yanked it shut and braced it with my shoulder as she hammered her fists and stabbed the wood with a kitchen knife. My heart pounded so loudly I thought she'd hear it through the walls. I screamed, "Rachel, I love you, please stop," and for a chilling moment she did. Her breathing slowed. I could hear her sobbing on the other side. I whispered, "Nonsense. I'll come out, but please drop the knife," and listened for the scrape of metal on tile. The knife clanged as she let it fall. In that instant, adrenaline and fear gave me strength. I flung the door open, tackled her to the carpet, and pinned her arms. My phone, still blinking 911 on the line, dangled from my fingers as I shouted my address. Seconds later, police burst in, lights flashing, shouting commands. They subdued her, cuffed her, and hauled her away, screaming my name into the night. Aftermath and recovery. Rachel's arrest unleashed a storm of legal hearings, restraining orders, psychiatric evaluations, and courtroom drama. I changed my phone number, moved to a smaller apartment in Munjoy Hill, and kept most of what happened locked in my head. I still jump when my front door clicks closed. I triple-check locks before climbing into bed. Some nights, the pattern of that closet's crack and the memory of the knife's echo under my floorboards replay in my mind like a broken record. I've learned to trust my instincts and set boundaries early. I found therapy to be a lifeline, someone to talk to who believes that be flattered is never a solution to stalking. If you ever sense danger from someone you thought you Trusted, act on it immediately. Reach out to friends, call the police, and get to safety. No relationship is worth losing your peace or your life. And in Portland, or anywhere, sometimes the scariest monsters walk right through your front door.